Hello everyone, welcome back to ErikaBuilds and another Sims 4 speed build. Today I have a rustic style suburban family home for you guys that I've given a few southern touches to as well. This is based off of a photo of a real house that I found online and as usual. And so I did have something to, go from as a starting point, and I just really wanted to pick something that would be in my comfort zone because, as you probably noticed, I've been traveling a lot this summer and I've been out of the country and I've been gone for so long that I felt a little bit rusty with my building. And so coming back, I was like, okay, I just want to find a picture of a house that just looks, now you're seeing a picture here in the corner that I used as a reference. I just wanted to find something that looked like it would be sort of like a warm-up build. It would be in my comfort zone where I could just jump right in and build this and get back into the swing of things. I'm actually working on a house in Sulani as well. There had been a few requests for a big family home on the beach, and I've been working on that. Actually, I'm working on two houses in Sulani, but I'm not very happy with them. And I don't know if it's just because, Sulani is a new world, and anytime you have to completely change your building style, it's difficult. And I'm super duper critical on myself anyway, but hopefully I will eventually get those two houses to a level where I feel like I can share them with you guys. But for now, I just wanted to do something that was more my style. And so this family home uses quite a bit of seasons and parenthood and all my go-to packs that I like to build with. And the materials are very, sort of neutral and rustic on the outside, and then lots of bright colors and fun color schemes on the inside, which is just right up my alley. So the house has 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. There's a living room and a large eat-in kitchen. There's also a laundry room and an office. So it's got pretty much everything that your family would need. And then there's a big back porch that's covered, partially covered. And then there's a gazebo and a swimming pool and a slip and slide in the back. So just a nice sized family home. I've got it set up right now in the gallery for 3 kids. 2 parents and 3 kids, and also items for a pet or 2, so you could have maybe like a cat and a dog. So yeah, just a very typical size family, and everything in this house I just feel like is very traditional for just what you would expect to find in a suburban house. One thing that is a little bit different though is that I got into the debug catalog and used quite a few things that were new. As you guys probably know, in the last update, we got like over 1,000 new debug items. And I think I spent an entire day just taking everything out and looking at everything. There's so much cool stuff. And tons of new things for landscaping and flowers and bushes and all these different potted plants, and I really wanted to use them. So you'll see a lot of those when we get to the yard. I actually think I cut most of the landscaping out of this video, but in the screenshots, you'll be able to see it at the end. And then of course, if you download the house, you can get even a better look. But anyway, as you can see, it's coming together here. I'm using a mixture of the stone and siding that we got with seasons, with just some regular base game siding. And anytime I use seasons, I feel like it gives, sort of an automatic rustic feel, just because the rocks and the siding boards are sort of, rough cut, and they always remind me of like houses that you would see like out west or like in mountainous areas, especially with the stone. So that always gives me a rustic feel. Oh, here you can see I'm pulling some of those items out of debug. I am obsessed with these hanging plants. Anybody who's a builder, you guys know how we've tried to do hanging plants and we've used the 9 key to try to like make them with like light fixtures and all kinds of tricks, but now we actually have real hanging plants. It's so exciting. And I love all these planter boxes. They are just so cool. I wanted to use all of them. I might have gotten a little out of control with the planter boxes because I think I used like all of them, but I couldn't help myself. And this fencing, which I'm obsessed with, I don't know how many times I've said to myself that we needed farm fencing like this. And so I thought since this was kind of a rustic house, it had a little bit of southern touch to it, that this fencing would be perfect, and I'm just in love with it. The only bad thing is it takes forever to put it down because, you know, it's just free placement. So I had to adjust it and tweak it a lot to like get it to fit. And at the end, it really didn't completely fit because, you know, usually when we make fencing for yards and stuff, we're just drawing it on and it's just automatically putting it in nice and neat for us. But when you have to place it like one piece of fence at a time, you don't know, you know, exactly how far across it's going to go. And then I ended up getting it, I think, a little bit further on one side than the other side. I don't know. My OCD just really wasn't very happy with it at the end. But I think probably most people won't really notice that it's slightly off. But it's just the side yard on the right side is just a little bit wider. But it still turned out fine. I probably shouldn't even mention it because nobody probably would notice it except for me. But yeah, I used a lot of these new debug items. Okay, so now you see I'm going inside the house to start doing some floor planning. And I have to admit, I had really absolutely no idea what I was doing when I started floor planning this house. I mean, I had a general idea, but not really. So in the end, I think it turned out fine. The bedrooms are really, really large. So in retrospect, I probably could have easily made this like a 4 or 5 bedroom house because it is on a 40 by 30 lot. So it does have a lot of space. But I don't know, I was just kind of winging it as I went along, and it ended up only having 3 bedrooms, but they are 3 very large bedrooms. In fact, in one of the bedrooms, I ended up doing twins because there was plenty of room for 2 kids to share. So that's the upstairs kind of like bonus room bedroom, which you can see I'm kind of working on the roofing now. Roofing, you know, is always a challenge, but when you've been gone as long as I have, it's even more of a challenge because I was just out of practice, and it took some extra time to get all of these pieces lined up on the top. You can see I'm tweaking it over and over and over, trying to get these to line up correctly. And mainly the reason why that happens is if you want to be able to see the upstairs without any like roofing blocking your view, you have to sort of piece the roofing together. It's very hard to explain. I should do like a tutorial, maybe video on it or something maybe, but basically I'm adjusting all the pieces so that I can freely play and build and use this upstairs without any visual barriers. And even see there, as I was just looking in, there was still one little strip of roof going across that was really bugging me. And I will always do everything in my power to get rid of those whenever they happen. So I ended up having to cut that piece of roof in half and duplicating it so that would be nice and open. And at the end, it all turned out fine and it was all perfect, but it just took a really long time because, like I said, I was out of practice, and roofing is just a difficult thing anyway. So yeah, but it was all fine at the end. I got it all together. But yeah, so now you can get a better look at the house and some of those debug items that I have placed in the yard. I really love those new hedges that we got. I actually sized them down a little bit because they're really, really big, but I love how they're sort of wild and untrimmed. I just think those are really cool. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. And in the interior of the house, I'm of course starting in the kitchen. Nothing new there. Using Parenthood. You know, Parenthood cabinets and Seasons windows are pretty standard for me. I was playing around with a few different color combinations because we don't really have the same swatches for cabinets as we do for windows in this particular pack, but it's close enough. And so I like how the countertops are sort of this dark gray, almost black, and how that matches the grids in the windows. So I like to play off of having that sort of dark accent color in here. So I use that for not only the countertops, but also for the chairs, which you'll see in a minute. And then I used red as like the main accent color, just because I really felt like this house would be colorful. And I really think that especially with Parenthood, because we have all these really cool appliance colors, I really like to play around with that. And so I thought red made sense in here, and it turned out really cute. And then just mixing sort of some browns, some more medium browns with dark browns, and then those chairs with the red seats with the dark gray, like black chair backs, which I thought really tied in nicely with the countertops and the grids and the windows. So you know me, everything is matching, and so I'm happy. The walls and the floors are both from Jungle Adventure. That's pretty typical for me. Most of my kitchens, I always use those packs. And like I said, when I started this build, I just really wanted to do something in my comfort zone. And so I'm just relying on all those packs that I know and love to get back in the swing of things. Right through the kitchen here, there's an archway that divides the entryway from the living room. For the living room, I cut out some of this because I had a hard time committing to a color choice, but I ended up going with sort of a green. When I do a house that's colorful, which I knew this one was going to be because I'd already kind of established that with all the red that I was using in the kitchen, I really wanted to also pick a bold color for the living room as well, but I didn't want to do more red because I feel like that would have been overkill. So I ended up picking up some green accents in here with the pillows and the rugs and things, because red and green, I mean, that goes together. They're both very, vibrant colors. This furniture is from Seasons, as well as the curtains and the rug. Those lamps are actually from Get Famous, which I actually really, really like those lamps. They're not... A lot of that Get Famous stuff, is mid-century modern, but I really feel like these lamps are super versatile and could be used for pretty much any time period. And then since this living room is really big, I decided to put a bar in here. So this would be a good house if maybe one of the parents is doing like the bartending skill, has a nice bar area. And then I also put a jukebox in here and a chess table because I wanted the living room to be functional. So there's a big TV and there's a video gaming system and bookcase. So trying to get as many activities in this living area as I can that would appeal, to everybody in the family. And it's a really nice big living room too. I also added a ceiling fan in here, and I did put a ceiling fan also in the master and on the back porch, because anytime I work with houses that are rustic or country sort of themed, I like to use ceiling fans a lot with those. But yeah, there's lots and lots of different browns mixed together. This entry has kind of more of like a golden brown tone, but I feel like it's very warm and very inviting as you first come in. So I made this sort of entry area with like a place for the backpacks and the mail and place to hang coats and stuff. And then just across, I did like sort of a entryway table with mirror and a bunch of flowers, and it was a nice big entryway, and so there was plenty of room to just kind of go all out and think of everything, you know, that could possibly be used in an entryway, and I pretty much used all of it. I used some items from Laundry Day in here because that's definitely a go-to anytime you're working with country style builds. The overhead light, entryway light, and the table lamp there on the entry table are both to match as well. So yeah. Oh, here I'm just adding some lighting around the fireplace because I felt like it was really dark there, and that's when I put that ceiling fan in. So it's starting to come together now. Then I had this little side entrance area with the laundry room, which was very small, so I didn't have a ton of space in here, but I was able to fit the washer and dryer and also a laundry tub and a laundry basket, so it is a fully functioning laundry room. And it has that nice side entrance where, if you've been watching my channel, you know I'm kind of obsessed with like always having a side entrance. I don't even really know why, but I feel like it makes sense with like a family home that you would have this entrance where people could come in, you know, kids are covered in mud or snow or whatever, and they can just come right into the laundry room. That's the way it is at my house, so maybe that's why I always do that. And then, yeah, here I'm just adding more flowers, more plants. I think also just because I was out of the habit of building, I decorated in a really strange order. I kind of started placing furniture in the rooms first and then went back and sort of did plants and photos and stuff. Now you see I'm going back into the living room to do plants and photos in here. Normally I wouldn't do it like that, but like I said, I think I was just kind of rusty, and so I was remembering things in odd ways. So, but it all got in there by the end, and that's all that matters, right? So yeah, I always want to make sure that I don't leave any big empty areas. Then right off the entryway, there's a door that leads to an office. This office I kind of envisioned for an artist or a painter or a designer, and so I had the computer desk area as well as a painting and art studio sort of area. You know, ever since we got, I think it was a couple of updates back when we got all that new like desk and chair and those framed like leaning artworks, ever since we got that update, I've been using a lot of art studio type things in my builds. I don't know why. Maybe it just looks nice and it's a nice hobby. I've said this before, but I just feel like painting is just a really nice hobby for a sim. And it's kind of fun because you really never know like what you're gonna get, and yeah, so I like using that, and I think it made sense in this office. So I think anybody from the family could come in here and use the computer or use the office, or if you had like a freelance career, I think that would work well too. Now I'm back in the kitchen cluttering because I didn't even think of it after I finished doing the furniture. I totally forgot to finish doing the rest, but again, I'm playing off of the red accents and lots of wood and browns, and I really wanted to make this kitchen very family friendly and cluttered up somewhat. It's not, I wouldn't say it's overly cluttered, but it does have quite a few homey touches with spices and the bread box and the dish drying rack and things like that. So there's a coffee pot there next to the fridge, and then I did some under cabinet lighting. There's some knives there and spices. So yeah, kind of typical kitchen decor. And then over here I had this little corner where I did the pet food and litter box, and then I made this kind of like a little area with like the doggy treats and stuff there. So would be a good house for a family with pets. Now I'm just putting some pictures and some things. See, I'm just going back and forth, back and forth. Sorry about that, but like I said, out of practice, so I'm just decorating sort of as I go and as I remember things. But yeah, so let's see, this flooring is from Jungle Adventure, and the walls are mostly all base game. Okay, so now we're going into the master bedroom, which is just right off of the entryway here. And it's a very, very large bedroom. Again, I think I originally had intended for this to be the dining room, and then as I was building, I was like, I don't feel like there's enough bedrooms here, and so I decided to make the dining room into the master, because the other room that was going to be the master I thought would be better as a kid's room. So yeah, just my brain was all over the place as I was building this, but I think this turned out okay. It's kind of nice that the master is close to the main living area and it's close to the office. You could actually even add another door there if you wanted to have a door directly from the office to the bedroom. That would work. But in here, it's mostly gray and cream and white, which I think looks really nice with this tone of brown for the windows and doors. This bed from Seasons with the matching dresser and nightstands is one of my favorites probably in the entire game. It's a go-to for me for sure. And those bedside lamps are also from Seasons. And that accent chair is as well. So lots of Seasons. The rug is actually from Parenthood, but I think pretty much everything else is Seasons. And then in the master bathroom, I continued on with sort of the same gray and cream and white color scheme, and I used the Seasons shower stall because it's one of my favorites, and the Seasons sink, and then I mixed that with the Parenthood tile, which I think looks really nice. And then on the opposite side of the house, just between sort of the laundry room and the living room, is the first child's bedroom. Again, this is a big bedroom because originally this was going to be the master. So this child has a huge bedroom, and it was kind of fun though, because it gave me the opportunity to give them lots of stuff. So they've got, of course, everything you normally expect with a bed and a dresser and a desk, but also it gave room for a toy box and a drawing table and quite a few toys. I think I also maybe gave them a guitar and some other like activities. I don't know, it was kind of nice. And for the color scheme, I've used this red and yellow and pink bed before, and I've talked about how one of my favorite things about this bedspread is how you can choose to pull out more of the red and orange and yellow or more of the pink, depending on kind of what color scheme you want to go with. So it's one of my favorite bedspreads to work with. I think it looks really nice with this yellow and pink Parenthood wallpaper, but also it's fun to kind of play off of the orange and the yellow, and really added a lot of bright colors with the curtains and the blinds and the rugs. So it's really a mixture of the red and orange and yellow with the pink and white that I think is just really playful and fun. And this child has a computer and a bookcase and, like I said, a toy box, and yeah, just tons and tons of room to play and lots of room for activities. Then they also have their own bathroom, which I did in a pink that was sort of like a fuchsia pink color. Instead of like a lighter pink, it's more of like a bright pink, which I think matches nicely with the bedroom as well. So the tiles are from Parenthood, and then that shower is just base game. And then I just tied it in with some bright pink in the artwork and the towels. and also the sink. So lots of pink in there. And there I was just adding that art table. Okay, so back out here to the back porch. You can see where I got really excited with all the new debug items. So the hanging flowers and the other flowers that are kind of like draped over the side, and then those boxed flowers, all of that is from the new debug items. I mixed that with this outdoor dining set, which is from the Backyard Stuff Pack. And then that red grill, which I just love. I believe that's from Toddler Stuff Pack. But I was definitely thinking of that red kitchen as I was working back there. And so the red flowers and the red grill and the red ketchup bottles and everything were kind of all tied into that same red as the kitchen. And then maybe because I just had red on my mind at this point, I decided to continue that on upstairs with the room for the twins. So I think I mentioned in my last video, the Rarotonga house, that I love red. Red is my favorite color. And so I really wanted to combine that with black and white and gray up here for the twins. I didn't really particularly think about if these were boy twins or girl twins or one of each or whatever. I don't think it really matters. This room is really suitable for any kids. It wouldn't even have to be twins. It could just be siblings that want to share a room. But they've got a little bit of everything up here. They've got toy boxes and a computer desk. They've got that Void Critters gaming system that sits on the floor that's like gigantic, that I don't get to use very often because it takes up so much space, but because I had this humongous bedroom up here, it gave me a chance to be able to use that. And I just used lots of different kinds of items on the walls. Most of those are from either Parenthood or the Kids Stuff Pack. A majority of everything in this room is from those two packs, with a few other odds and ends kind of mixed in. The only thing, I wasn't really thrilled with that white dresser, but actually when I looked closer, it did match the Parenthood bedside tables. So even though maybe I wasn't quite sure if it looked good with the wallpaper, it actually did look really good with the bedside table. So then I was happy because it has to match. And then I realized I didn't have a door to the bathroom, so I had to add one there. And there's like a little bench there with a guitar. So there's a mirror, and I put some school projects, and yeah, they've got a lot of stuff up here. And then for their bedroom, I continued on with that same black and white and red and gray color scheme. It's a huge bedroom, so I had plenty of room to do double sinks, which I decided to put in the corner with double mirrors. And then on the opposite side, they've got the bathtub and shower combo from Parenthood. And then I had so much room, I decided I would add some towel storage and that little bathroom vanity table from Jungle Adventure, which I love, but very rarely do bathrooms have enough room to use it. So I was excited to be able to use that. And then that other cabinet for the towels is from Seasons. And I think those look nice together. Even though one is black and one is gray, it matches how the Parenthood sinks are gray with the black countertops. So I felt like it all blended together nicely. But yeah, so basically that's the end of the build. We're going to go into the screenshots now. So you'll be able to have a chance here to see the landscaping, which I ended up cutting out of the video because it was so long. But you can see now I used a lot of flowers. I played off the red color again and pulled that out into the yard with some red flowers. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the screenshots, and thank you so much for tuning in for a new episode. I'm sorry I've been traveling so much and I've been out of town, but I now am back. I have no more trips planned, and I just want to relax and just play The Sims a lot. So make sure you like and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with all my builds. Also, you can follow me in the gallery. My ID is ErikaBuilds, and It's also ErikaBuilds on Twitter and Instagram, so you can see pictures of all the homes that I've built and all the projects that I'm working on, so be sure and check those out. So that's it for today, and I hope you guys all have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.